Hello and welcome to the Switchrpg podcast. I am one of your hosts, Gio, and I'm joined by Just Johnny. What's going on, Johnny?
E3 is going on.
E3?
E3. Well, it's over now. But...
Yeah, it's over now. I have no idea what you're talking about. If this is your first time listening to the show from Switchrpg, where we, you and me, bring you all the latest in the world of RPGs on the Nintendo Switch. This week we are talking about E3. E3?
E3.
But what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? Oh man. So I have been working on Gripland.
Yes.
I kind of beat the game with or beat the story with the first two characters.
Sal and someone
Sal
else.
and Rook.
Okay.
And I unlocked the other one. I forgot who they are, but I never was able to play them, and I would have beat the game by this point because I was playing it real hard. I put in like 20 plus hours into that game. I was really digging that game, and then I hit like one of the worst game-breaking bugs that could ever exist, which is, hey, your progress is gone. The moment you close the game, just wiped out my progress. It remembers a couple of things, but none of it. I tried mulling around the menus here and there to figure out if I could regurgitate and sort of rehash my progress beforehand, and that didn't work. And sometimes when you're going through, because I replayed a couple of the story segments just so that I can unlock things and then continue with other stories, it will remember that you did certain things, like, I don't know, like complete a quest 50 times or something like that. So the moment you complete like one quest, boom, like you get that achievement, whatever it's called in the game, unlocked. So like it remembers some of your progress, but your save file progress, the long-term stuff, that's gone and broken. And that is awful. Absolutely awful. No one should be getting this game whatsoever because of that issue. And there's this other thing, the daily challenge that is up. That's also broken.
It is.
So there is some bona fide bugs in this game. Do not pick it up. No one should pick it up
until it's fixed.
Until it's fixed.
Yeah. Once it's fixed, and apparently the developers do have a fix into Nintendo. They're just waiting for that process to happen for it to go live. But until it's fixed, I would maybe hold off. I am playing it on the YouTube channel, and I did come across this bug, and it wiped my progress, so I had to kind of start over. So I'm also halting on that Let's Play series as well. But before that, as kind of you insinuated too, you put 20 plus hours into this game. You're playing it pretty hard. The gameplay itself and the story are really, really interesting. I love the aesthetic look of the game. It's kind of your deck building RPG with very roguelike kind of elements. It is a very interesting type of game.
Very interesting.
Yeah. But like you had said, until I think the game studio is called Klei, Klei, and until they fix it, it's gonna be an issue. But and like I said, I think the fix is coming very, very soon, and hopefully it fixes it, because man, they have something really good in here. And when and if that's fixed, say for example that game is totally bug free, okay, I would put this into indie game of the year category in that grouping, because it is a decent, really good game in that aspect.
Yeah, it has that kind of potential because it's doing some things that are fundamentally no other game has done.
Yeah.
Now, the card system and the combat side of the card system is pretty much it's very much a copycat of Slay the Spire and other similar games of that nature. So it's not really doing anything too different there, but it is very well done, very well executed, and very well implemented and sort of polished mechanically.
Hmm.
So it's got some good stuff there, but the other part of the game is just the narrative of the game and how it is a gameplay mechanic, how you can every NPC can be you can develop a relationship with, where you're either neutral with them, they either like you or dislike you, or they're in love with you, or they hate you, or you kill them and they're dead. And every single one of those stateful transitions is meaningful in the game. You pretty much want to have everyone love you as much as possible.
Man,
And if anyone hates you, you pretty much want to kill anyone that hates you because if they hate you, they give you a debuff that lasts forever until you kill them or make them not hate you. You could always just, do something good to someone that hates you,
right,
potentially,
right.
and get them to dislike you or like you again. That's hard to do, though.
It is very challenging. I found that like depending on the the instance, whether it was a negotiation instance or a battle instance, I would typically fail in the negotiation and then end up having to do battle and either killing them because you can either kill them or you can let them surrender and kind of just let them go. But man, everybody hated me. I had so many debuffs or boons on me. It just gets so challenging. So if you go out all out attack, the game gets really hard.
Yeah, yeah. You have to balance the negotiation and the combat. They're essentially two different decks that you get, and there are two different ways of resolving a conflict. And the negotiation deck and the way that conflict resolves, it is essentially a battle system, but it's implemented in a very different way with its own mechanic, and the way they themed it is excellent, and the flavor of the cards and
Right,
what you're doing. And if you are trying to so if someone hates you, you can go up to them and use enter a negotiation conflict with them. And this is in order to provoke them into attacking you so that you can kill them. So so when that happens, though, at the very start of that negotiation conflict, a bunch of cards get inserted into your deck, and they're called insult cards.
yeah,
So you get a bunch of insults. So the conflict, the way that ends up resolving against someone that you hate, is you're essentially flinging insults at one
right,
another. It's
right.
hilarious. It's
What
really
one
good. Considering.
One thing that it's not explained very well is the negotiation combat or instance. I
Yeah.
think if they had done a little bit of a better job explaining all that, the learning curve for me anyway would have been a lot more shallow, and I probably would have I would have like excelled at it a little bit better and used it more, you know?
Yeah, it's a tutorial. It's a sequence. It's like a four-step tutorial video
Yeah, it's very short.
that is not it's not thorough enough for the negotiation one. Even the combat side of it is a little lacking,
Yeah.
but at the very least, they kind of don't really hold your hands and say, "Well,
Hmm.
here's the very basics of it, and you're off."
Yeah,
And
you're right.
yeah, the each character that you play as, they also fundamentally play differently from the other characters. You're not using the same decks at all. You're using very different mechanics as well, uh where if someone for example, negotiation with Rook, you have this coin, and you can flip the coin every round, and depending on it, if it lands on heads or tails, that gives your negotiation cards a buff or a debuff or some trigger that occurs, that causes ability to do some effect
Right,
to do
right.
really
Unfortunately,
cool.
I wasn't able to get that far because I'm in and out of a lot of different games, and that game got wiped out really early for me. So
Yeah. And that those additional characters do have their own little tutorial videos to explain their unique mechanic. By the time you end up using the other characters, you'll understand in general how the ebb and flow of things. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. What else you playing?
Yeah. So I finished Catherine and finally rolled credits on that game. It was a little bit longer than I thought where I was last time, but got through it. The game's all right. It's definitely an interesting game, man. I after playing that game, because I played it at night just before I went to sleep multiple times. That's pretty much how I played the game in its entirety. It was always at night before I went to sleep. Not a good idea because I had like dreams or maybe nightmares of like pushing blocks and trying to figure out like how these push blocks need to work. Some of those levels were pretty challenging push block puzzles, but I got through it. It's I really like the puzzle system of it. The
Hmm.
story is whatever. It goes weird too.
Oh
Uh
yeah.
on and then I got this ending that like was completely out of left field where I was trying to go for Catherine with a K, but I guess I made a decision at the very end that ended up causing me to get Catherine with a C. Was- Which is actually kind of like the good ending, or seemed like the good ending, yeah, and stuff like that. So it was interesting. I'm not going to play the game again, but I think it's definitely a game that people who are interested, that are fine with push block puzzle style games, a good one at that.
Right.
Uh, they should definitely give it a try. The narrative, like, it's not the best dialogue, but it's all right. It's serviceable enough. Um, so finished that, and then I picked up because I was so upset with Griftlands and the lack of progress saving and the fact that there's a sale going on because of E3 on the eShop. I finally picked up Slay the Spire.
Yeah. I hear
And
that's like the pinnacle of deck building RPGs at the moment.
it is really, really good. Griftlands, I think, is better because you get a world with it.
Okay.
Whereas Slay the Spire is kinda, it doesn't take itself seriously. There's a lot of puns in there, and there's no story. You're just climbing up, and then it's like 3 different levels or whatever it's called, and
Okay.
then you beat the final boss of the 3rd one, and then there's this heart, and then you slash it a few times, and then that's it.
Huh.
Credits roll. And
Okay.
I've already done that credit roll twice with one character, another time with another character, and I got to do it again with another character. So I guess I kind of beat Slay the Spire, and I beat it quicker, way quicker than I thought I would. But the loop of climbing the spire and beating it, it's like only a 2-hour loop, so it's really good and it's really addictive, and I just want to play it more. So
Okay.
it's not a game I'm definitely going to be continuing to play Slay the Spire. At the very least, beat it with the 3rd character, see what happens.
Right.
I want to know why that heart is still there because I want that heart to go away. I think there's more game after the heart. I don't know, but I think there is.
Was there a DLC for that?
I don't know. The game is awesome.
Okay.
Definitely a really good game. So that's what I've been playing. What have you
Okay.
been playing?
Again, I've been playing Griftlands with you, but I had to put a pause on that because of some of the issues that it was having. But I did put a decent amount of time into Griftlands. I've also was given a review code for Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. This is kind of like the original version, not the new version that's coming out. That's like third person action RPG. This is kind of the isometric, kind of the original. That was, I think it was, what was that on the PlayStation 2?
Yeah.
I played that a long time ago. I played it so long ago, I don't recall any of it. So it's like going back to it all over again, brand new. And I will say, after playing some other isometric games that are having like frame rate issues or any other problems, this game runs fine. It runs really, really well. I'm having pretty good time with it. What I'm really excited for is the Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance that's coming out, that third person action RPG. So this is kind of like a little bit of a primer. But this is it's a pretty good I mean, I don't want to, I think it's a remaster. And it's yeah, it's pretty decent. I've been putting along at that. But I mean, I'm really waiting for Diablo 2, to be honest with you. Um, that's really what I want in terms of isometric kind of dungeon crawler type of deal. But Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance is fairly decent. I like it. I like it. But that's all I've been playing. Sorry, it doesn't compare to you. Let's get into some news. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Some new game announcements. Former Megami Tensei and Shin Megami Tensei staff announced Monarch for the Nintendo Switch. This is an article on My Nintendo News. We now know what former Megami Tensei and Shin Megami Tensei staff at the new video game development studio Landcars have been working on as of late. The new RPG is titled Monarch and is described by the developers as a new school RPG. It is scheduled to be released on the 14th of October in Japan on PlayStation consoles and Switch. So the debut trailer for Monarch will be available to watch, which you can watch that right now. So we don't know when that's coming to the West here. As of now, I don't think. But I will say, I was really excited to hear, the people who was behind this. But when I saw what Monarch actually was, I guess my expectations weren't met. I don't know what your thoughts on it were, but I don't know. It just I like the environment. It's kind of dark, gritty. I do like that. I just don't. I'm not a fan of what it's doing in terms of. Excuse me, I'm playing this really loud. In terms of what it's doing with the combat, I'm not. I don't know what they're trying to do there. It almost looks like it's like tactical type of combat. I don't know. But what I did say when I originally saw it, I said that this looks pretty generic. I don't know what your thoughts were on it, if you had any.
I didn't really see too much of anything that caught my eye. I'm with you. It's a little bit on that generic side.
Yep.
So, me.
Yeah. Like I said, my expectations were a little higher, but actually I gotta look this up. I thought NIS America had some involvement in this. They might even be releasing this. Let me just take a quick second. So there might be a Western release here. Okay, there's definitely a Western release. I did know that. It looks like it says available early 2022. So if you go on the NIS America store, they have, looks like, a limited edition and some standard editions here available for Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 4 and 5. All right, so it is coming here. We just don't know when. But yeah, it looks okay. All right, Kingdom Come Deliverance announced for the Nintendo Switch. Warhorse Studios and Saber Interactive, those guys, man, they definitely know what the heck they're doing, have officially confirmed that the ambitious but apparently flawed Kingdom Come Deliverance will be making its way onto the Nintendo Switch system. Kotaku points out that the game struggled performance-wise on both the PS4 and the Xbox One when it was released a few years ago, so it'll be interesting to see how it fares out on the Switch platform. Let's hope it turns out to be a good port. This is again another article on My Nintendo News, and yes, I really hope that this is a decent port and not just kind of a money grab.
Yeah, I mean, it's old enough to where it shouldn't have performance issues.
Right.
But then again, it depends on What did the original one release on? Was that
That
PS?
was Xbox One, PS4.
Yeah, but it looks like it's for PS3, Xbox 360, right?
Yeah, maybe like an in between there.
Yeah.
It might even been, a game that was in development, Xbox 360, PS3, and kind of, you know, took its way onto there.
I would say the thing that's obviously going to suffer is going to be the textures.
Yeah.
So the porting effort, we're going to get some muddier texture stuff. Other than that, I think it's going to be it could be a easy lock of good performance. That's the big kicker. I don't know. It's the combat is like Skyrim combat,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
first person. I don't know if you get ranged combat in here. I mean, I see a lot of bows and arrows, so I'm assuming that there is ranged combat as well. So it's immersive. It's a grounded medieval type of thing without the fantasy that I
Yeah.
can tell. So I'm definitely on board if it works well. If it
Yeah,
performs
if it's a slog, it's just gonna it's that's obviously that's not gonna work.
or if it's overly blurry.
If it looks like it has like peanut butter smeared on the screen, that's no good.
Yeah.
All right, cool. But at least it's coming, so we'll see what happens there. Cyber Connect 2 has been announced. I'm not familiar with this at all.
Uh, is it Cyber? It's not Cyber Connect 2. Cyber Connect 2 is the
The
developers.
developers, yeah. Cyber Connect 2, the developers behind the immensely charming Nintendo DS RPG Sola. Hang on, I gotta buy a vowel here. Solatorabo. What?
Solatorobo.
Oh,
Solatorobo?
Solitarobo. Man, we are just gonna get butchered for that there. Solitarobo, Red the Hunter have announced that their new project, Fuga Melodies of Steel, will be coming to the Nintendo Switch and other platforms on the 29th of July. The company revealed a new trailer for the forthcoming RPG, which coincidentally looks delightful. Um, this is sicker on My Nintendo News. The game will feature audio in Japanese, French, and text in Japanese, English, French, Spanish, traditional Chinese, and simplified Chinese. So we got a bunch of English subs there.
Yep.
I'm not familiar with this at all.
So yeah, this one kind of came out of nowhere. I dug a little to find this. I do not like the characters at all. The art style is fine. I just don't like the fact that all the characters are animals
Yeah, they're
and like
anthropomorphic animals.
yeah, cutesy, semi chibi ish animals. It's fine, I guess. Cause look, I'm a huge fan of Star Fox, so I'm okay with animals, but it's just the way that they're being presented on what is a mech war game type of thing that's going on. And I am totally on board with this. They have like this big, giant, huge mech versus, I guess, other mechs, but it's like a mech tank. It looks like a tank.
Like almost steampunky type of deal.
Yeah, right around there. I don't know what's going on science-wise. It's not quite
Yeah,
steampunk. It's
right.
not quite, futuristic mech. It looks like there's some magic in there, I guess. Whatever is the case, it's an RPG with mech stuff. There is this like weird side-scrolly exploration stuff that's going on too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this is interesting because I haven't seen a game like this. Quite like this. It's
Right.
very different. I'm getting vibes of 13 Sentinels from this. Obviously, very different game, but I'm getting vibes of like, I can my spidey sense is tingling. I think I'm going to like this.
Except for the animals.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? It could be bad or it could be good. It's got a mech. I mean, you got like this big giant battle tank thing that
Y-
you're
You and
trooping
your
around.
you and
So
your mechs.
I'm a sucker for mechs.
I guess you are. All right, River City Girls 2 has been announced. WayForward has announced that the sequel to River City Girls will be arriving on consoles next year. The news was announced alongside new artwork, though a trailer has yet to be released. River City Girls 2 will see players return to the desperate streets of River City with Misako, Kyoko, Kunio, and Riki, and will also include a few new playable characters, which WayForward, the developers, is keeping under wraps. River City Girls will also feature a 2-player online co-op, which is clearly great news.
Yep.
Did you play this one at all?
I didn't play any of the River City Girls games, but I did play River City Ransom.
Mm-hmm.
This is a modern take on the River City stuff, so it's a RPG brawler,
Right.
and it looks like it's running real good. Yeah, I mean, it's all sprite graphics, so I can't imagine it having any issues there. The sprites themselves look fine. The art style looks fine. It looks pretty solid. You're getting like so the flavoring on this is like you can wear like girl cosmetic stuff, and you acquire certain things. Like it's just weird stuff. Like I guess you're playing as high school girls,
Yeah.
and you have stuff in your inventory like your makeup kit, or a choker, a neck choker, or a bra, or earrings, eyelashes.
Yep,
Like,
and they all do different things. Yep.
and they have different stat increases or potentially abilities on them and whatnot. So uh it looks fun.
Yeah, it's actually a decent game. When I say we, Ben over at Switchrpg rated it good out of our scale of bad, okay, good, and great. So it's a decent game. It's definitely worth your time.
Yep.
All right, cool. What is next? Let's see. Project Zero, Maiden of Blackwater, coming to the Switch later this year. Now, you hate this game. We were talking about this prior to me hitting record, and you were just going on and on and on and on about how much you hated Fatal Frame, the franchise itself. Okay, none of those things happened, but let me just read here. The super creepy Project Zero Maiden in Blackwater, which came out on the ill-fated Wii U system, is coming back to life on the Nintendo Switch and other platforms. The game sees you using the camera obscura to snap the spooky ghosts in the remastered Japanese horror title. Now, if you are a fan of Silent Hill, this is kind of these are the two. Silent Hill obviously, took off more than Fatal Frame did, but man, Fatal Frame is, I know you don't like it, but Fatal Frame,
Like it. It's just it's an okay game. It got outshined by other games like Silent Hill and Resident Evil.
yeah, so you hate it, but it is a it is a um Fatal Frame, the original, the very first one, is really kind of up there in terms of kind of your survival horror games. It does fall, off, and that's kind of where Silent Hill took over. Silent Hill 2 was really good. Silent Hill 3 and Silent Hill The Room I really enjoyed as well. So Silent Hill progressively got better, and Fatal Frame kind of progressively got worse, in my opinion. And then especially with the Wii U version, it's I don't know how this one's going to be, but I do like Fatal Frame. I never got to play this one, so I'm actually kind of interested in playing this.
It does look good. Graphically, it it doesn't have that sort of aged look to it that typical games of a sort of B tier
Yeah.
level typically have. So it looks pretty refined. It looks like it's going to be a good experience. I hope it executes well. And if it scores high, I'm in because I love horror games.
Yeah, and not just horror games. I think in general, you and I are on maybe the same page with when it comes to just enjoying horror aspects of everything. So, all right, cool. That's not technically it for new game announcements because we still have to go over E3 and whatnot. But that's outside of E3. Those are some of the new game announcements. Let's quickly hit on some news here. Just before E3 was hit, Rune Factory 5 was shown in a kind of a pictographic that it was coming out in early 2022. So it's kind of been delayed. I want to say delayed again. I feel like this is kind of forever getting kind of pushed back a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. And games like this that are really text heavy, translation, I think that's where this is getting held up at this point. Is just translation is just taking a long time.
Yeah. I mean, they did say it's officially coming out early 2022.
Hmm.
So vague, but they did say they did come up with some features for it. You get to tame monsters or team up with townsfolk to explore a massive world, defend the frontier, and support your community as a member of a peacekeeping ranger. Unleash uniquely powerful combo attacks with your teammates, cultivate crops in the fields, find friendship, love, and family with a colorful cast of characters. So there's
Yeah,
some of
I know a lot of people who are very excited for this game. So the delay it just really hurts their feelings.
well, all of those things that they have listed there is all things that are already features of uh
Other games.
what's that farming sim thing? Stardew Valley. There we go.
Yep.
And they're, Stardew Valley right now is still the juggernaut, the one to beat. I mean, I think Rune Factory is going to have better combat, dungeon
Yeah.
exploration stuff. But other than that, I don't know if anything else is going to come close to what Valley has done.
Yeah. Stardew Valley just continues to impress and continue to compound on what it does with, DLC, whether it be free or pay DLC. It just continues to expand its universe there. All right, Diablo 2 Resurrected coming to the Nintendo Switch. We finally have a release date of September 23rd. Man, that is way too far away. I don't want to wait that long.
That's a good
Uh,
date.
it is a good date. I mean, I don't know what else is coming out that time. But it is nice, and I will say that there's a lot of cool stuff added that they kind of announced here. Um, Let me see if I can find it. And it goes into like Dolby 7.1. I don't think the Switch supports that, so
Yeah,
that's that. It does 7.1, yeah?
should.
I don't know. I don't think it does.
Not like 7.1 is a new thing. It's been
No, it's
around.
definitely not a new thing. I just did not think that it did. I'm trying to find where I saw this. The 8-player co-op. That is a thing, right? I'm not making that up. 8-player online co-op, or am I thinking of something
Yeah,
else?
that was a big announcement when they verified 8 player. Yes.
I just want to make sure that that is a thing. Resurrect
You
preserves 8-player. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 8-player
You're
co-op.
right. The Switch doesn't do 7.1. Wow.
How old is this article? Yeah, Diablo 2 Resurrected preserves 8-player multiplayer and other game modes from the original. So 8-player co-op, that is so good. And to go along with the 8-player co-op, it is cross-platform. I don't know if PlayStation's in on that, but again, it's cross-platform. So
Most of the people playing are going to be PC players anyway.
right, but again, that's a bigger pool. So I think that's pretty good for Switch owners. So
Oh yeah. This
awesome.
game is going to be played for years.
Yeah.
Years.
And these are the types of games, like games that are cross platforms, I generally have an issue with when there's PvP involved. There's no PvP involved in this, so I'm fine with that. So there's no way of cheating in it. And I think with keyboard and mouse you have a little bit of advantage with, say, for example, in shooters, things like that. So again, you remove the PvP aspect of cross-platform, I am perfectly fine with that. So again, that is freaking phenomenal. Awesome news. And I'm still waiting for. I really want them to have like a collector's edition. They need to have it,
Yeah.
or at least I don't even know if they're having a physical version. Never mind a collector's edition.
I am worried about the Switch version of it.
Yeah, I think it'll be all right. Diablo
Hopefully.
3 runs fine. If it's just maybe you know, a little bit of an upgraded version to that, I think it'll be all right.
I'm hoping. I'm
Yeah.
hoping I'm hoping it keeps the 60 frames stuff improvement, the visual improvement to that.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
I don't know how that will handle in handheld. All right, Mario Golf Super Rush. Ugh, wow, this is like a tongue twister for me. Mario Golf Super Rush Bring on the Competition trailer. So Nintendo of America has unleashed a trailer for the next installment of Mario Golf franchise for the Nintendo Switch, Mario Golf Super Rush. The video comes, oh my gosh, I am having problems here. The video comes complete with a music announcer asking if it's really considered golf. And is this legal? Mario Golf Super Rush is scheduled to release on the Nintendo Switch later this month on the 25th of June. And yeah, so bring on the competition.
Yeah.
They
That's next
it's what I'm sorry, what?
it's next week.
Yeah, it's coming up quick. It looks really fun, and they are really pushing this game.
It's their big game for June because July is going to be for the next game that we're
Yeah,
about.
this is all you.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
So we got a couple of things here. Uh, so there was lots of reveal type stuff, especially during Capcom's E3 presentation for Monster Hunter, and they covered what the extra DLC collaborative stuff was going to be for Monster Hunter Rise, which is all cosmetic stuff for the most part, and event quests, which is not really that big of a deal. They give you more gestures and more cosmetics, and
Hmm.
I think you could change your voice to some
Some
of the
other
other
NPCs, yeah.
species. Yeah, nothing major. No new, seemingly no new monsters to hunt. So I think they're kind of wrapping up their support of Monster Hunter Rise, either for an expansion or a sequel. That's what I'm guessing. So don't have your hopes up any higher for anything too major beyond like maybe some armor set or some weapon. That's probably the most that they're gonna go into. Then they went into further length and detail and lots of extended playthroughs uh, during the Nintendo E3 Treehouse stuff
Hmm.
for Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin. Uh, wait, the game's coming out next week?
I'm sorry, what is
Oh,
coming out
the
next
demo.
week?
Sorry. So, they announced that a demo is going to come out for that game on June 25th, same day as Mario Golf. So that's a little odd because, if you ask me, I'm just gonna play that demo for Monster Hunter Stories 2. Either way, the game looks real good. They showed off also some of the like the cross save stuff. It's all cosmetic stuff, nothing too big. It looks like a big, lengthy, semi-traditional JRPG romp with high production values and a very good, solid, polished look to it. It's looking real good. They did
Hmm.
what, like a 30-minute, maybe more playthrough
In the
of
treehouse,
on the treehouse of that game. So that's looking real good. So and that's coming out in what, July
July 9th, I think.
9th, right around
Yeah.
there. So that's gonna be very exciting stuff because that's only like what, 4 weeks away, 3 weeks away, not
Yeah,
too far away.
yeah, and also with the demo, the your progress carries over. So you're not
Yeah.
wasting your time.
Yeah. And the last sort of little bit on the rundown is Pokemon Unite had a thing just the other day, and they showed off more of that. It looks like a fairly simplistic MOBA esque type of game. I don't know if you've seen League of Legends or Dota or other games similar to that. It's like that, but with Pokemon and also sports. Because I think there's this ball, or at least the trailer showed them playing like some weird soccer esque type of, or football for you Europeans out there. Uh, Something to that extent. So, question mark. I don't know if it's for anyone. The graphics aren't very impressive because it's also coming out on iOS and Android. So,
I
I
think
mean,
I think it's cross platform.
yeah, if it's free to play, give it a whirl.
Well, I'm reading here the title will be free to start for fans to jump in and play with optional in-game purchases.
Of course, of course.
That I mean, just MOBA games in general, I'm just not good at them, so they always get a hard pass to begin with. And you know, the free to start optional, buy-in, I'm all set.
Yeah, this is made by the Tencent people, so they probably took their tried and true formula that they've sort of iterated on with League of Legends and all those weird spin-offs from
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
And some of them are already on the Switch, and I'm guessing it's just going to be the same thing, probably the same control scheme, more or less, slightly different variation on gameplay, and all of those games are free to play as well. So they're they're trying to milk that.
Yeah.
So there's that.
All right, let's go into rumor land. If you can, just come with me. Do not put your hands outside of the vehicle. Put your seatbelt on. Going for a ride. All right. Video Game Chronicles editor Andy Robinson and other insiders noted that the Kyoto-based company were planning to port the Wii U editions of The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker HD, and Twilight Princess HD to the Switch. But sadly, they weren't mentioned during the presentation for the E3 thing that they do. Mr. Robinson appears to be confident that the games are coming to the Switch at some point and says that Zelda fans should sit tight. Yeah,
That's not happening.
I don't think. I mean, do I want it to happen? Yeah, sure. I mean, of course. Why wouldn't I want that to happen? I just don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know that Nintendo likes Zelda 35th anniversary. It just totally got.
I don't know what you're talking about. They are now doing real good for their 35th anniversary.
Oh, they're doing great.
I mean, we're gonna talk about it because I think yes, Zelda was done good for their 35th.
Yeah, just not the same. It's not the same treatment.
Yeah. Well, this might happen. This could still happen. Maybe for this upcoming holidays, if if they are trying to sort of hold on to the announcement of these two. And if they do announce these two, I think it's going to be a package deal where you get both of them together.
Yeah.
And it'll be the full 60, but you get both of them together. And I think they're not announcing it or didn't announce it during E3 because of Skyward Sword. They want to spotlight that as much as
Yeah.
they can because everyone knows that Wind Waker and Twilight Princess are better games than Skyward Sword. So
Everybody knows.
yeah, that's probably what's happening. But if it doesn't, I would say if there is no Nintendo Direct in September, then by September, then yeah, do not expect either of those games to hit the Switch.
When is Skyward Sword coming out? Would if there's going to be a new Zelda announcement or anything, it's going to have to be after Skyward Sword, right?
Yeah, well, that is next month, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think we'll get a direct or anything that soon. That seems really, really soon. So, I don't know. Man, they're going to have a lot of my... I'm not a Skyward Sword fan, but they're going to have a lot of my money when that game comes out. All right, this is actually very recent, just before we started recording, pretty much. News of Castlevania Advanced Collection rated in Australia. Now this has already happened. This happened with Ni no Kuni, the original, and it turned out to be true. It turned out to be a thing. So now we have a collection of Castlevania games given a mature rating by the Australian Classification Board, and the collection appears to be coming to multiple platforms. Castlevania Advanced Collection is being developed by M2 and published by Konami. It will presumably include the following games. What games are they?
So it's going to be Castlevania. What was the first one?
Circle of the Moon.
Harmony of Despair, which is the second one, and
Harmony of Dissonance.
Harmony of Dissonance. Sorry,
Are you reading this or no?
Harmony of Despair is another Castlevania game. It's a multiplayer one. Sorry, I always confuse the two because they use kind of very similar terminology. It is a legit Castlevania game, okay?
I don't believe you.
Harmony of Dissonance and Aria of Sorrow. And all three of those games are absolute treasures. They're all fantastic. I would say probably Harmony of Dissonance is the worst of the bunch. Maybe. I mean, or certainly the best one, without a doubt, is going to be Aria of Sorrow. Aria of Sorrow is one of the best Castlevania games. Just end of story. That game is incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, and all three of those games are absolutely incredible. They are all amazing games. And they're going to do a collection of this. If it's, I would charge $60 for that collection. I would charge more for that collection. Like, I would throw money at that collection. I already have all three of those games, but those are all excellent games. Excellent games. You're going to have an amazing time every single one of those. Amazing time.
More than $60. You are out of your mind.
It's not going to be more than $60. I mean,
it better not be.
No. But it's Konami, so who knows?
Yeah, you're right. All right, that is it for Rumorland. Now, we did recently have this thing, this E3 Direct, and there's a few things that were announced. We're just going to hit on some of them. Advanced Wars and Advanced Wars 2, Black Hole Rising. Oh, whoa, I clicked on something. Coming to the Switch as a reboot camp. What am I reading here?
Reboot camp.
That's just the wording on this headline just doesn't make sense to me.
It's weird. It's called Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp.
Yeah. And it's set to arrive just before Christmas on the 3rd of December. Both strategy titles are well received by strategy game enthusiasts and should keep you occupied over Christmas.
Yeah, more than that. I mean, this came out of left field on the event. It took all of like 3 or 4 seconds to show the graphic of that lady. I forgot her name, but as soon as she popped up, I think that was like the first character that they showed off. I immediately recognized. I'm like, oh my god! I flipped off. Real good. I went a little crazy, and I saw what they had there, and I'm like, they are bringing it back. I thought this franchise was dead and never going to get resurrected, kind of like F-Zero and other Nintendo franchises. But nope, it got resurrected. It is a full-blown remake. They are adding additional functionality to this. They're adding, at the very least, they have announced and they did a play of it during the Treehouse Live, and they announced that it's going to have multiplayer up to 4 people, I believe they said. And okay. It'll have versus mode across multiple different maps. So I'm guessing probably all the multiplayer maps of the first and second Advance Wars games, because this is a package between the two. Absolutely fantastic. This is like, you want to talk about the best turn-based strategy games in existence. These 2 games are on that list. Like, some of the absolute best. It is very well refined. It's also simple, but deep. It is so good. It's like this awesome sauce here. The only thing that could have made this better is if they also included Dual Strike, Advance Wars Dual Strike, which was the DS game. If they include that into the mix, and if they did that, oh man, that would just be insane. The only reason why they probably didn't include that is because there's touch controls and a map editor in that one,
Sure.
and they probably didn't want to go through the effort of sort of remaking that aspect of the game, because that is a very useful, fun thing to do. Because I use that map maker to just make my own little maps. I even use that map maker to do stuff like plan out Dungeons and Dragons
Oh,
map.
really? I,
Yeah, when I was DMing, I would like draw the map first on that map editor.
I think Wargroove has a map editor.
It does, yes.
Okay. Okay. So obviously they derive that from that. Cool.
Yeah, yeah. So super excited for this. You've never played Advance Wars, right?
Nope, nope, never played it.
Not a single one of those, huh?
No, and going back to a previous rumor land that we had discussed potential Fire Emblem, older Fire Emblem titles making a return, and I think this is what was going on. Intelligent Systems is the developer for Fire Emblem, and again, word around the street was that Intelligent Systems was working on something older, and it was Fire Emblem, and I think this is it. I mean, they certainly could be working on Fire Emblem, but Intelligent Systems isn't actually even didn't even work on this. It was a way forward,
Yep.
which is the people that do like what do they do? They do like Shantae and stuff like that. So that art style in the cinematics, you can definitely see that. Now, what I'm not a fan of in this reboot are the characters themselves, the environment. I think it looks way too kiddish, I guess. It looks like a generic Tonka cartoon or, CG thing. It's not appealing to me.
Yeah, it's got a toy look to it.
Yeah, I'm sure the game mechanics are there and are tight. I'm sure that is fine. It's just the I just can't get over what it looks like, you know. It just doesn't look appealing. But
Yeah, and to for those who haven't seen the trailer for it or are aware of what the game used to look like, it was all sprites before. It's all 3D models now,
yeah,
but they have that, as you said, semi cartoonish toy look to it,
right,
which is fine by me. It still looks fine. The gameplay is where it's at in these games, and it's really gonna shine well. Could I would have liked a different art style, but you know what? It ain't bad. It's definitely
right.
not a bad art style.
I
It's
wish they would have like kept it a little more cohesive. Like you have two different art styles in this. You have that animation look. I would much rather have that, to be honest with you, overall over everything. Instead of the two animation and then the kind of like the CG kind of toy look. I would just prefer like the full thing, just look animation. I think had they done that, it probably would have been maybe a little more appealing to me personally. But they went with what they went with.
yeah, what they're missing is that sort of black outline line work
Yeah,
on the the sort of in the battle uh 3D models.
right. So yeah, I think it had a more cohesive, and I just think it's unappealing to me. But all right, next we have Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is coming to the Nintendo Switch, and it got a new trailer. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is getting a Nintendo Switch port, and the game has received a new trailer to mark its occasion. Streamed during the Japanese E3 2021 Nintendo Direct live stream held on June 15th. The trailer offers a brief overview of everything the port will offer. What do you think about this? I mean, I know you're the go-to Dragon Ball guy. I know very little when it comes to Dragon Ball.
Uh,
I mean, I don't even know how this runs on other systems, other consoles, so I can't even speak to that.
we talked about this game already. I think like 2 years ago or something
Mm,
like that. We had, and I was hyped for it because it's the game that everyone wanted with Dragon Ball. Everyone wanted, because the game that everyone made was a fighting game. We get it, a lot of fighting in Dragon Ball, but the game everyone wanted was a legitimate Dragon Ball RPG, and
right.
this is the legitimate Dragon Ball RPG. and it released, I believe, last year, early last year, in like January or something like that. And it did decent. And they've had a year and a half, give or take, maybe even more, to sort of spruce things up, cut this little port over with some additional content. So hopefully they improved it, uh, polished it up, added some additional stuff to it, and hopefully what's there is going to be good enough. Because if it is, I'm totally on board. This is, like I said, this is the Dragon Ball RPG that everyone wanted. Super excited that it's come to Switch because yeah, it'll definitely get playtime. It will definitely
Yeah,
get.
as long as it plays well, right? I mean, that's like the most important thing. It's gotta run really well.
Well, I will say this, on Steam, it's got over a 90% approval rating by
Users,
user reviews. Yeah,
that's pretty dang good.
it is really good. So I I guess that number has improved since it released.
Hmm.
So when it initially released, it was not that high up. Uh,
Right.
yeah.
Very good for you, Dragon Ball Z nerds. Excellent. All right. Moving on, we have Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy come to the Nintendo Switch, but it's got a little bit of a caveat here. The recently announced Guardians of the Galaxy video game from Square Enix will be touching down on the Nintendo Switch system. The game is set to be released later this year and will include all of your favorites from the series. Unlike the Avengers game, this will be a solo experience rather than a live service game. Thank goodness. The Nintendo Switch version will be playable via the cloud October 26th. So this is going to be a cloud-based game, and we've seen this with oh shoot, what Control? Is that the other one that's cloud-based? So a little bit more of your graphically intensive games, we're getting cloud versions of it. Um you're not really sold on this from what I gather.
Uh, it looks fine. The banters and the antics of the characters look fine. There's some good comedy there. It just seems like it's going to be a very linear, very safe romp with Guardians of the Galaxy's characters. I mean, everyone loves the Guardians of the Galaxy's characters. That crew, everyone loves them, right?
Hmm.
They have a great feel for it. Also, the music soundtrack, I will say, musically, it sounds they picked all the right songs
Yeah,
to show
yeah.
off during that trailer because those are all great mixes and hits. So there's that, but what it was doing gameplay wise isn't anything new. It's all stuff that's been done before. It
It's all your exclusive PlayStation titles, you know?
it is very similar to that. It's pretty much walk down a corridor, whatever level you're in, it's just a corridor. It may look like it's not a corridor and that you have
Sure.
some freedom of movement, but you really don't. You just, hold forward, wait until a cutscene, or you enter a room where there's a bunch of enemies. Kill the enemy. You can't leave that room until you kill all the enemies. Once you do that, you can leave the room, continue to hold forward, and proceed to the next room of enemies or cutscene. And every now and then, you'll be able to make a decision. It's so formulaic in so many games that I've played for the past, like, I don't know, 30 plus years, I mean,
Yeah, right, right.
or 20 plus years. It's very formulaic. So I've done it before.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I hear you. I mean I do like the movie films. I do like the Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, more so the first one. The second one is okay. But going back to the cloud versions or cloud gaming versions, we have Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Control, and Hitman. Again, those are relatively larger games that the cloud version is kind of helping us out with. All right, WarioWare. That this is not an RPG, is it?
Nah, it's
Nah.
not, but it's, I mean, who knows? I mean, there's so many mini games in there that we might, oops, accidentally stumble onto a mini game that does have the some RPG type of
Right, right, right.
going on in it. But it's a brand new announcement. No one was really expecting it, and Nintendo inserted that into E3. So that's just something to be excited for. I'm a fan of the WarioWare games, so I'm definitely gonna grab that as long as it scores well.
Okay. All right. All right. Mario plus Rabbids, a game that was kind of leaked right before. And this happened to the previous one too. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I really enjoyed the first one, and I'm glad that they're getting a sequel here. And I don't know what else it's doing differently other than it's got new like enemies. But like I said, I'm kind of glad it's making a return. Okay, so here we go. We have Rabid Loomis and Rabid Rosalina. So that tag team is now Rabid. What else do we have? Build your dream team from 3 heroes. Take down all new bosses. I don't know. Like I said, I'm really happy that they're doing it all over again. I
Yeah,
think this was a very fun game, and you can get it so incredibly cheaper now, and it is worth it.
yeah, and I think they're up in the ante on the gameplay mechanics of it. I don't know. I don't know about you, but when I looked at what they had for showing up for gameplay, it seemed like you had the ability to and instead of moving in a grid, you could free roam, or did the original game have that?
Yeah, the original game had that where you kind of have this free roam experience between your grid based combat. So there was a little bit of exploration and maybe a little
Oh,
bit of puzzle solving
during the combat.
during the combat. No, no, it was basically your standard turn based grid based type of stuff.
Yeah, and in the gameplay segment, it seemed like there you could I mean, you have to watch so there's 2 different trailers. There's the trailer that was shown off during Ubisoft's E3, and then there was a trailer that was shown off during Nintendo's E3 presentation, and the one on Nintendo included gameplay, and some of the characters, when they're moving during the battle, they had, like, this outline circle, like a perimeter that, uh that was free roaming. There was no grid. There was just a perimeter, and you could freely move within. It seemed like you could kind of freely move within that perimeter. It looks like it's fundamentally different, just the movement wise of what they have going on the game in a fairly significant way. They're doing very different things on this one, and
Hmm.
they're sort of kicking it up the notch. So I don't know if you pay attention to what they had going on, or if you're looking at it right now, but have
I
you
mean,
noticed?
I'm kind of noticing that, but I did not see. Yeah, I'm kind of seeing almost like an arena type of thing. I didn't catch that the first time. I don't know why.
Yeah, that was I mean, the gameplay of the first one was excellent. The only
Mhm.
thing that kind of let me down was there wasn't enough different things. It got a little monotonous. That was probably the only thing, and the environments that you freely explored were fairly small. Now, the environments on this one look way bigger
Yeah.
and more open for free exploration. So I am totally on board with that. And then this big, fairly what seems to me like a big change, right? Because now you're no longer. It doesn't seem like you're bound to a grid of sorts anymore. And I'm trying to remember because it's been a while since I beat Kingdom Battle. So I'm trying to remember. Did the original have a grid, or was the grid only there when snapping to cover?
No, the grid was pretty much always there.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I don't
I'm
know. Maybe I'd have to watch the other trailer. Maybe within a certain arena or certain area, you're allowed so much movement and whatnot and actions, and I'm not sure how it's gonna work.
yeah. Either way, I am very, very excited for it. I'm trying to pull up videos for the first Mario and Rabbids. If you bear with me for like a second. All right,
Let's-
so I can see movement happening. It is in a grid.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it seems like they removed the grid. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's just the way they did it just kind of is odd.
I like the way
I
that
don't I don't know. I don't know why I or how I even missed that, to be honest with you.
yeah. It it You know what? That is a big change, which means that they're not just playing it safe with the sequel. And I'm a definite fan of that. So I'm excited. I was already excited when they announced it,
Right, right, right.
and then to see that gameplay follow up during Nintendo's presentation, and for those are like what 30 seconds, a minute tops of like actual gameplay footage. It only took that long for me to notice like, ooh, there is some unique stuff going on here.
Hmm. I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm looking at something here. It's an I obviously I'm not gonna watch it now. IGN did a they talked to some of the developers. Mario plus this is the title of the video. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope devs talk about going off the grid.
There we go.
So there's something that is actually different.
Yeah, that's a big change when it comes to like a tactical strategy type of game mechanic. Going off grid is a big deal, and they're going off grid, and that's cool.
Yeah, wonder what the heck that is. Did they give a release date for that or window?
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah, that's right. All right, what is this next thing? I've never heard of it.
You mean the biggest announcement that Nintendo did for E3?
It is fairly big, I think.
All right, and the rumors were true. This where there was smoke, we have found fire.
Yep.
It did happen. We predicted this. I mean, maybe not the title, but the title, by the way, what we're talking about is Metroid Dread, the actual Metroid 5.
Yeah, yeah.
Metroid 5 is alive. It is Metroid Dread. Oh, so good. I said that this would be the best E3
Yeah.
uh, if they announced the Metroid game, and they did that, and no one was expecting this at all.
No, no. People were kind of hoping and not expecting, but hoping for Metroid Prime 4 stuff.
Right. I kind of figured that I mean if they did lean on Metroid Prime 4, it would only be a cinematic. I doubt they had enough time with it to
Yeah.
do something gameplay wise. So, and for Metroid Prime 4, I'm getting a feeling that they're going real big on it because of how many people that how many high-end people they're hiring for it. Sounds like they're going real big for it. So I wouldn't expect anything more in the cinematic. And I think and going with this route, fantastic. So what they opened up with before showing off Metroid Dread is they acknowledge that Metroid Prime 4 is still in development. They need more time before they can show more stuff. Perfect, beautiful, because they did the same exact thing for Metroid 2 Samus Returns. They
Yeah.
did the same thing because they showed off the Metroid Prime 4 logo, and then they showed I forgot which one came first. Either they showed the Metroid 2 remake first, and then Metroid Prime 4 logo afterwards, or vice versa. I forgot which one went first, but they pretty much did the same thing. They did the same pairing where they said, "Oh, Metroid Prime 4, don't worry about it. We got it. By the way, brand new Metroid game. It's running on the Switch. It looks incredible. It is a legit game. It's Metroid 5. It takes place immediately after Fusion. We're going to definitively have a resolution to the Metroid story with,
Maybe.
with this iteration. Well, the Metroids.
Yeah.
So I think the phrasing that he meant was, or that was translated. I think what he's suggesting is that this is going to be an end to the Metroids because the Metroids theoretically ended in Metroid 3,
Right.
which is Super Metroid. Uh, technically, there is some more Metroids in Other M. I don't know if Other M is canon, So that's just weird stuff with Other M, and, I guess Fusion, there's some things there. I can't remember if there were actual Metroids in Fusion, other than Samus kinda being a Metroid of sorts.
Yeah, that you're the go-to expert when it comes to Metroid.
A little flaky on that. I just don't I don't think there's any Metroids. Yeah, there's no Metroids in Metroid Fusion. That's for certain. So I think Other M might have been the last, and Other M takes place in between Metroid 3 and Metroid 4. So
Gotcha, gotcha,
that
gotcha.
so
You're
Fusion.
you're skipping on the most important part.
Most important part, the game is coming out. Not only do they reveal it, show it off, have a treehouse, double treehouse presentation of it, the
Part
game
one
is
and two.
coming out this year in
It is.
October,
Yep.
October 8th. Absolutely incredible. They did it again with Metroid. This is doing Metroid good
Yeah.
because we're not waiting for this game. It's well, technically we are, but we ain't waiting very long.
No.
It's coming right out.
And it's got a little bit of it's got some I guess some negative I would call it more negative people out there complaining about the $60 price tag on this. I don't see an issue with that at all. I mean it looks incredible. It looks really really good actually. And it looks like it's running really well. From what I saw part 1 and 2 of the treehouse, it looks and plays phenomenal. I have zero issue with this being a $60 game. I think people just associate, all right, 2D platformer, it's like an indie game. That's not what you're getting here.
No, no, definitely not. I mean, the Metroid Samus Returns, Metroid 2 remake, that was incredible.
It
Let's see, that,
was. Yeah,
that
it
was a
was really good.
PS game. What was that? $40?
It was 40. Yep.
Yeah, 40 on 3DS. Right? This ain't 3DS. This is the Switch. The game looks and definitely runs way better. Uh, the game is, I think, is guaranteed 60 frames a second. It almost looks like it's a lock. Everything is
Yeah.
so buttery smooth. This is Samus's maneuverability that they showcased during the presentation is incredible. It just seems like she has so much mobility there, so much agility and flexibility, being able to doing the sliding, doing that weird like climbing up the magnetic wall thing,
Hmm.
the spider magnetic stuff. Doing the what was it, the dash counter or the dash melee
Yeah, where
thing.
it doesn't slow your ability, so you can actually almost do like a jumping counter
Yeah,
attack.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there, and I'm excited because they've already shown off. I already mentioned one of them, and other unique abilities like that weird cloak stealth ability
Yeah, they're
thing.
almost like the Aeons, I think. That's what they
Yeah,
call them.
the Aeon was in the Metroid 2 remake, but it was like a cooldown, almost like a cooldown. It was a meter that you built up, and
Yep.
you activate a powerful ability. I think it was like 3 or 4 different abilities. You choose which one, and you trigger it, and you deplete your meter type stuff.
Right, but it builds back up.
It builds it back up. This one, it's kind of similar, but it seems like it's more significant in that the Aeon isn't just a one trick pony type thing. It's going to tie into fundamental. At least with this cloak, that stealth ability is also essentially allowing you access to doors that you could not access because you could stealth before, because the door would detect that someone's about to approach and close.
Hmm.
Uh, it's kind of like you don't have authorization, you can't proceed type of thing. But if you
Right.
activate the cloak, your stealth, the door can't detect you, so you can walk right through it. Not including the enemies that are pretty much immune to anything Samus can do, and you have to use that stealth in order to escape them or one shot death.
Right. Yeah, some of the I think it was more of the bigger kind of monsters one shot death. Yeah.
The robots, yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
they're called Emmys.
Hmm.
Yeah, so really good stuff. It's that Emmy thing is something that they did in Metroid 4, Metroid Fusion, which was the same kind of feeling of being pursued and against a foe that is relentless and essentially invincible. It was also done. That same type of thing was done in Resident Evil 2. It was done in Resident Evil 4, where you're always getting approached. Less so in Resident Evil 4, but certainly in Resident Evil 2 with that dude with the hat. I forgot his name.
Oh shoot. Yeah. Yeah.
Was it Nemesis?
No, Nemesis did not have a hat.
Well,
Yeah,
Resident Evil 3 did it
that
too,
was
right?
3. Yeah, that was 3.
So Resident Evil 3 did it too, right? Where you're always getting pursued by this relentless juggernaut that you cannot kill, so you always have to try to run away. They had that in Fusion. It was a little bit more sequenced in Fusion. It wasn't as dynamic as it seems like it is in this one. So they're just taking that same concept, ramping it up. I just can't wait to see what else they're gonna do with this.
Now,
Uh,
in the treehouse, it almost led me to believe that some of these Emmys are like you can counterattack them. It's just very, very, very difficult. So you can kill or destroy them, but it just might be difficult. At least that's what I remember hearing anyway.
uh, you can counter them at the right moment, but that's only
Maybe
to escape.
okay. Maybe yeah, maybe you're right.
You can kill them, or at least they did show you being able to kill one or two of them, or at least one of them. But that was with the you get an upgrade, a temporary upgrade to your blaster that gave you like this Omega whatever
Oh,
super.
yes. It was almost like a cutscene type of moment.
Yeah, almost. It was approaching you, and you're charging up, and then you blast, and boom, you obliterate the enemy. But then you lose that super
That was a
powerful
yeah,
ability.
one-time deal.
So yeah, it's a one-time deal. So it's probably going to play out like that, where different environments are going to have X number of enemies, and you're going to be vulnerable to them up until you eventually explore and find the temporary upgrades that allow you to take them out. And then once you take them out, those areas, those sections of the environment that they were guarding are now free to explore without the fear of dying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I think you and I are you might be a little more excited, but I think we're both, pretty excited. There will be a special edition. Good luck trying to get it. It feels like it sells out rather quickly, but it includes a steel book and some other stuff, an art book, that sort of thing.
I
Uh,
want that so bad, but it's sold out everywhere.
yeah.
Everywhere.
I was actually able to snag a copy
But
for it. So,
you got one?
oh yeah. Along
Where?
with the amiibo, Best Buy.
Best Buy.
If you need assistance with that, let me know. If one pops up, I'll help you out.
I need
Um,
assistance.
you need a what?
I need assistance.
Oh, you definitely need assistance. Also, again, with me loving my amiibos, I do have every Zelda amiibo. Now I also have every Metroid amiibo. I'm also getting this one. Well, now what's cool is that Japan is actually getting these. It's a combo. It's a Samus and an Emmy. It's a combo pack. Japan is actually getting them separately. I am not that much of an avid collector where I'm gonna import those. That's fine. I don't need the combo pack, but we're getting an two amiibo, which
Yeah,
again, like I said, I am getting. I just have to. It's like Pokemon. You just gotta catch them all. Okay, cool. I think we're gonna go with this one here. So, world premiere gameplay footage and more for SMT5 revealed. They really went all out in the treehouse. Is really where this kind of I guess was able to shine. They played about 30 minutes of the demo, and they showed off some of the demons that you can collect and how they play. What unfortunately, most of it was like most of the text on screen was in Japanese. The people playing it weren't. But the translator seemed like he was having a difficult time translating it, so it was kind of an awkward experience, in my opinion. But I'm actually kind of excited for this game. I think it looks really, really good. This will actually be my first SMT game to play, so I'm really hoping that it plays good. I mean, we were only able to see a small area. I think you had mentioned that it looked like a sparse area, but again, this is it's a
semi sparse.
yeah. I mean, they're just kind of showcasing what's going on. They have, this really, I don't know.
It looks good. It's just it looks very similar to Persona 5. Now, I like the visuals of this more than Persona 5. So I'm definitely more excited for this one than I am for Persona 5, but I gotta see how it plays out more. This one, it seems like this one's gonna focus more on uh the collecting the demons.
Yep.
On Persona is, even though that's a big mechanic of Persona, it just seems like it's more important on this one because Persona, you have party members. This one, it just looks like it's you and your demons as your party members. I don't know if they showed off anything or any of the trailers for it that release showed off any other party members that weren't demons.
That was it.
Yeah, so it's just you flying solo with some demons. So if you don't like recruiting demons, then yeah, you might not like this game. But that is a big aspect. So this is very much kind of like Pokemon, but instead of Pokemon, they're demons.
They're demons, so it's an adult version of Pokemon. I guess adults play Pokemon too, so I don't know. I'm sorry if I've offended you. But yeah, what's cool is how you and I think this is true with all SMT games, that you negotiate with these demons. You're trying to recruit them. It's really interesting in how that works out. Again, this would be my first soiree into the SMT world, so I'm getting familiar with it all. But I thought that's a really, really cool aspect of it. And it's coming out this year. It's coming out November 12th. Typically November is pretty jamming. It's pretty busy, so that's brave. That's a bold move, I think.
Yeah, that's a prime real estate regarding release dates.
Yeah.
So they put it up there. It's a big title. It's a very, very big title. A lot of people are excited for this. This game was announced before the Switch was even a thing, or
At the same time, right?
Well, before you could physically get the Switch.
Yeah,
yeah. So I'm excited for it, but I'm not gonna get it until I see the reviews come out for it, right?
Sure.
It's there's a lot of similarities to Persona, to the Persona. Obviously, Persona is an offshoot of this. So I'm not too hot on Persona 5, and I'm just fearful that after playing SMT 5, I won't be too hot on that either. Although I'm liking what I'm seeing. So
Sure. All right, and then we moved on to what everyone kind of was expecting and kind of wanted, was the this Breath of the Wild thing. I don't know. What do you think?
They delivered, man.
They delivered.
They delivered.
I don't know. It's coming in 2022. Obviously people were hoping that it was coming in sooner. But let me just quickly read off here what we have. Nintendo has released a brand new trailer for the highly anticipated Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is heading to the Nintendo Switch in 2022. We've been waiting quite some time for the game to arrive in the system since it first made its debut a few years back, so it's great to see a new trailer. And yeah, it was very interesting. It's almost like islands in the sky, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on here.
Because you're not a Zelda fan and you haven't played Skyward Sword.
Well, I was gonna. Okay, fine. Go ahead. Take over.
You're not a true. Sorry, I mean all true Zelda fans play Skyward Sword.
Wait, let me just pan down to this. Oh, what's this shirt that I have on?
You like to throw money at things and make yourself feel better. I do the work, all right?
Yeah.
I do the actual work.
Yeah.
I had to beat that game, all right?
I
I
I
have
would
wounds.
did you say you have wounds?
Yeah, from
Yeah,
Skyward.
yeah, from Skyward Sword, because that game is
The game's good.
yeah,
Real
sure.
good.
If you say so. So yeah, Breath of the Wild. I was looking for more, more of a breakdown, I guess. I wanted more of actual gameplay than cinematic, and what we got was a lot more cinematic than gameplay. So I guess I was disappointed in that aspect.
Alright, so we got a new rune power, which is reverse time.
Yep.
Two new rune powers. Alright, so we got the reverse time rune power. We got
And
the I don't know what to call it, but
go through solid object.
yeah, move through solid object power. I'm guessing that's a rune power. It could be something else, but for now we're going to call it a rune power, whatever that is. We know that the Sheikah Slate has now fused with Link's arm.
Something
Now,
happened.
Link's right arm is the Sheikah Slate. So all because when you look at the trailer, all Link does is just like hold his hand up, and boom, rune power stuff triggers. So we got that. We know that you can take. I'm guessing maybe it's like shield customization or weapon customization because they had a standard shield, and on that standard shield was like this dragon head thing that was breathing fire out. We know that's going to be a thing. There's Link has looks like there are differences with Link. Potentially there being either aging system with Link because his hair was shorter and longer in different segments of the video, or
There's customization.
there's customization, or there are multiple Links. Uh, I'm just saying as a possibility. We know you can go into the sky. The sky is going to be a very important thing, and you can do this weird skydiving antic thing to get onto these islands at the very least. And whatever's on the ground is going to fundamentally the standard ground, the standard Hyrule that we know and love from Breath of the Wild.
Hmm.
They had the Talus, but the Talus formed created a platform above it that was a typical Bokoblin encampment.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That is so cool. That is so cool. So we got a lot from that trailer. Zelda fell into a pit, so my guess is Zelda's not playable. So all those rumors of bouncing between both Link and Zelda, yeah, that's probably not the case.
Wouldn't that been cool though? I thought it would have been cool. And who knows? Maybe there is some sort of aspect in there where you'd be able to play as Zelda. You don't know that. You can't rule it out.
I'm ruling out right now.
Don't do it. You cannot rule it out.
So I can get surprised later when I play Zelda.
Yeah, 2022. If I had to guess 2020, would you say early 2022, like maybe March? Like where that's when that would be technically what, 4 years after the original? I think they like that March
That would
timeline.
be 5 years.
5 years. My math is not my strongest suit. Okay. I think
5 is a very long time, especially when they already have the engine.
right.
That is exceptionally long.
So yeah, that's my guess.
I wonder, a big question I have is, so you unlock the I forgot the name of the motorcycle in the DLC for Breath of the Wild. Like, is that gonna be in Breath of the Wild too?
Like just all DLC stuff.
Well, the motorcycle, like, is it canon? Also, the thing you get, the what's gonna happen with the beast, the divine beast?
We don't. Well, what happened at the end?
They're fine.
They're fine. They're there. We don't know the story. There's nothing so told to us.
Many questions like are they still there? And also, if they are, is the fifth divine beast going to be there as well?
We don't even know. There's no mention, or they don't even show any divine beasts. So
I know. It's so many questions.
So many questions. You're right. Man, had my fingers crossed I was coming out this year, but you know, I really knew it wasn't coming out, but I just wanted it to.
But and by the way, they also announced a couple of other stuff, right? They announced the details of the Age of Calamity expansion pass. What's
Yep.
coming in with that? They also got into more details with Skyward Sword HD, which is coming out in a month. And then they also, out of left field, came out with, by the way, Game and Watch: The Legend of Zelda as a nice little collector's item that Geo bought like 10 of.
Well, no, not 10, not 10. I will say that the original Game and Watch, not the original Game Watch, the one previous to this, the Mario one, I think they thought that it was gonna sell a little better. Like you can find those things everywhere right now. Either they overproduced them or they're just not selling that well. And I have a feeling that this will actually sell better, to be honest with you. I think Zelda has a larger market for people who collect things rather than Mario I don't know. That's just my opinion on that. So I'm just curious how this is going to sell. But either way, I only got one. I didn't get 10 of them.
All right. So with all these details that came out, like, do you still feel dirt that Nintendo's doing Zelda dirty for the 35th anniversary?
Yes.
You're crazy.
No, because I want a spectacle. I don't want just I want them to acknowledge it. They have not even acknowledged it. In a tweet, in a
Hey,
press release.
Game and Watch itself is the acknowledgement.
No, I want the words to come out of their mouths. I
Oh
want
my.
it written down saying 35 years of Zelda, ain't it freaking great?
Well,
Something.
you know what we'll get before that happens?
You'll get
Another year of Luigi.
you might even get Metroid before that. 35 years of Metroid, ain't it great?
Look, hey, Metroid, the handling of Metroid's 35th is worse than Zelda, but I ain't complaining. I don't think they done me dirty. I got a brand new Metroid game.
Oh yeah, or whatever. Yeah, brand new. I'm still waiting for the new Zelda game to come out. And Skyward Sword's not it. Don't even go there.
Skyward Sword's phenomenal. That is a very good Zelda game. All right, very good.
Whatever. All right, so moving on to cap off E3, Nintendo dominated with the highest peak viewership across Twitch, YouTube gaming, all of that with 3.1 million. Is that 3.1 million peak viewers?
Highest peak viewers. Yep.
Yeah, behind that, so 3.1. Behind that was Xbox at 2.3, and I will say, if had Sony been there, it would probably been, I want to say, in between that. Definitely higher than Xbox, but Sony kind of does their own thing now. And then the most major disappointment was Square Enix at 1.3 and Devolver Digital at 1.1, which is actually pretty surprising.
That is very impressive. Devolver Digital, they did a great job. I really like their presentations this year, also exceptional, and they did something different, but also similar to what they typically do. And
Hmm.
it was different. They changed the narrative up. They moved into this other thing. They're breaking the fourth wall like crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent, excellent stuff. I recommend everyone check out their presentation. Square Enix, their presentation was awful. That was awful.
Yeah,
Watch
I think that was probably one of the worst ones.
Not the worst though. It was one of the worst though, but not the worst. The worst was Take-Two Interactive. Do you know what happened on that?
I did not catch that. No. What I
All right,
miss?
Take-Two Interactive. If you're gonna
Oh wait, go ahead. Yes.
if
Okay,
you're
go
gonna
ahead.
have E3 presentation, people are gonna expect games.
Games.
At
Yep.
least a game. Okay? What people don't want during E3, which is a time of everyone recognizes it as being fed sales items and advertising, right? Everyone acknowledges, like, hey, this is E3. We're just going to watch a bunch of corporate ads and we're going to be excited for it.
Basically, yeah.
We want these ads too. This is like the best time of the year where fans collectively say, yes, corporations, show us ads, we will show you money. Okay. Instead, what they do is pull a big giant, hey, we're going to do our corporate virtue signaling. What was it?
It was basically something that should have been held between employees.
Exactly.
It felt like we were in on a employee meeting.
It was
Basically.
something that shouldn't. It's fine to do those types of things, just not during E3. It's like the wrong place and time to do something like that. It's not what people. You're appealing to the absolute wrong crowd. Now they're not stupid. They know what they're doing. So they did it anyway. So I guess they want people to be force fed this propaganda. I don't know what's going on. Either way, they shouldn't have done it.
Yeah,
That was
and
the worst.
it was an hour long.
It was very. I watched all of it. It was terrible.
I could see, spending, 15, 20 minutes on the topics that they went through, or the topic they went through, which was basically, diversity, inclusion, equality, all that stuff. Spending 15, 20 minutes on it, fine. But where are the games? You're the publisher of games like, I don't know, GTA. People were hoping for some information on the next GTA. What else do they have?
They got Take-Two. I mean, they got so many studios, so many franchises.
Yeah,
and yeah, they pull a big giant propaganda showpiece like that and expected good results from it. It was the lowest thumbs down video across the multiple feeds that I could find. It was thumbs down everywhere by a lot. By a lot. The ratio was not good. Not good at all.
It's because people wanted games, and like I was saying, they were expecting something with GTA 6. They've been on the GTA 5 bandwagon since the Xbox 360. You know what I mean? Like, that game is like Skyrim, where it's just played everywhere and continues to be played everywhere.
It's the wrong time, wrong place.
Yeah, that's too bad.
No one even likes watching virtue signaling videos.
Not an hour of it. That's a bit much.
Yeah, and especially not an hour of it. It was also not productive at all. There was no takeaways from it. Like, everyone collectively agrees, like, yeah, diversity is great. Everyone wants diversity.
Of course, everyone wants all of that stuff.
So it takes all of like 20 seconds to convey that message. And they spent an hour. All right, whatever.
All right, so in saying this, we're gonna kind of wrap it up, if we can, with a kind of a ranking system with all of the announcements that they had, including non-RPG titles. Okay, so there were about just under 30 announcements,
and this was specific to Nintendo's Direct. We're not doing all the different Directs or present E3 presentations. If so, then there's a game that I think you and I would slot real high on this list.
What a game is this?
Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, tangent here. Did you watch any of the now I'm gonna say this, that the stream did not convey how good that game looks. The stream was so compressed, did not look good. But when I was able to actually watch it as it was I guess published after the fact, 4K wise, man, that game looks really good, I think. No doubt.
Yep. Super excited. Super excited.
Yeah, that game looks really good.
It looks like Dark Souls and Bloodborne had a baby with George R. R. Martin.
And I'm playing with the baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this is just specific to the Nintendo Direct, and they had just on 29. There was there any more than that? I think it was just 29 announcements. So we're gonna announce them what we think. 29 to number one. We're gonna hit it off real quick with Danga. Say it again.
Danganronpa Decadence. By the way, this list is our excitement. So as we get higher on the list, we're getting more excited, more hyped for the announcement.
Yes. So Danganronpa Decadence and Danganronpa S Ultimate Summer Camp. Again, just nothing. It's really nothing to me, to be honest with you.
29 and 28. It's at the very bottom of our list.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're listening to this, it's a possibility that you might like those titles. It's not for me, that's for sure. Speaking of not for me, Life is Strange Remastered Collection and Life is Strange True Colors. I like what they do in these games where there's a lot of good conversation pieces in these games. So it's kind of like more simulation-esque, but again, it's just I don't know. Again, it's not for me. Just Dance. This is a game that you like, which is why it's up this high.
Oh, number 25. It's not super high, but it's higher than the other games. I am. You know what? If Just Dance is, if I'm ever at a place, and by the way, I whenever there's like group little parties or whatever going on, Just Dance is on more often on the screen, and it looks legitimately fun. Like fun. And you know what? If Just Dance is on somewhere and someone invites me to try out a song or two, I'll do it. And you know what? If it has good song selection, I'll stick with it because it's also a good workout.
Yeah,
So,
I'm still about the Rock Band. I'm waiting for Rock Band or Guitar Hero to come back, and then I'll play that. I won't do the Just Dance thing.
I like the dance thing because it's good exercise. So
Yeah, I don't like the exercise. Next we have Cruisin' Blast at number 24. Cruisin' Blast is the F-Zero game that you will only get.
no, not even close. There's nothing. No,
That's it. That's what you're getting.
no, just
All right, next we have Worms Rumble.
yeah. Worms. I mean, I like Worms games, and this is a real time Worms game instead of being turn based,
Yeah,
and it's more hectic and chaotic because it's even more worms shooting at each other in an arena like environment, and there's a lot of more worms in there. I think it goes up to it's either 32 or 64 players at the same time, so it looks
that
like it's gonna be pretty hectic.
yeah, that might be a game that my kids would like.
Yeah.
Next we have a Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania.
Yep, and that's at number 2. 22, sorry.
Number two? What?
22.
I mean, I don't know that anyone was calling for this, expecting this. No idea. This is kind of like I feel like this is a generic Sonic the Hedgehog, to be honest with you.
Monkey Ball it's a good series. I believe this is a remake of a Monkey Ball game, or it could be a brand new one. I'm not too familiar with Monkey Ball. I do know that the Monkey Ball games, especially on GameCube, are all really good, really solid. I just never got them or got into them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it definitely looks like a remake. Anyway, then we have Doom Eternal DLC. Doom Eternal, from what I understand, I've never played it, looks phenomenal, plays pretty good too. The announcement, we got some DLC.
it's not surprising that we're getting it. So it's number 21 on the list because it's a great game, but like yeah, the DLC was already announced, so whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of DLC, then we have Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity expansion pass. They kind of went into a little bit more detail with the expansion pass. If you've already played this, I still see no reason to get this DLC, but I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's yeah. I don't want to play Hyrule Warriors anymore. So having expansion stuff, it's not that big of a deal. It's not a new game, so it's number 20.
All right, cool. Next we have next at number 19 we have Strange Brigade. Now, are you familiar with this? Like, is this a this is a game that's already been out? I think. I'm pretty
I'm
sure.
not familiar with it.
I'm pretty
So
sure.
it caught me off guard, and it didn't look bad. It looked interesting.
And that's what it is. It just looks interesting. It's a third person shooter maybe, but it's got some puzzle mechanics.
Yep. Like exploration, adventure, action adventure type of thing, and it has co-op.
Yeah, four up. I think it's up 4 players. Am
Yeah.
I wrong on that? Okay.
Yep.
I might look into this. I don't know.
It's got like a mummy theme to it. I'm a
Yeah.
fan of mummies, so sign me up.
Oh, you like mummies?
I do.
Cool. Speaking of mummies, number 18, Mario Party Superstars. There's no relation to mummies. This is. I'm gonna be nice when I say it. I did say it a little differently before I hit record. Mario Party Superstars is a kick in the pants to people who already own Mario Party on the Switch. I feel like Mario Party on the what is it, 8 or 9? I forget what it is. I own it. I've played the mini games many times, too many times. I was expecting some sort of DLC, paid DLC. I don't expect free. I would have paid for DLC, paid for a refresh of the mini games, things like that. It's just when you constantly play them over and over and over again, you need something else. You need some refreshment, and we got it in the terms of a whole new game. Now with Mario Party Superstars, it's more inclusive to the Switch Lite platform, so there's less of the motion controls in it. So, and I think that's why they went this way. But looks cool. Mario Party Superstars. Number 17, Project Zero Made in the Blackwater. This is the Fatal Frame remake, remaster, whatever it is. I think this is cool. If I have any downtime when I'm not playing RPGs, I'm going to look into this one. If it plays well, runs well, all that stuff, I think I'm going to jump on this. 'Cause I like survival horror, like real survival horror. Like the newer Resident Evils are getting back into that, and Silent Hills, games like that. So that is number 17. Number 16, I think this game is too high, but maybe it's for its namesake. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, the cloud version, at number 16. I think it's nice to get some of these cloud versions because I think it helps the Switch's third-party library a little bit, where games kind of look really good, that sort of stuff.
I also think it's the kind of game where it will do well running on the cloud version,
Okay,
uh,
yeah.
because it is actiony, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna be overly intensive or overly difficult. So I think with that extra visual flair that you're gonna get from it, that it's the obvious, right? Either you get the game or you don't,
Mm-hmm.
because they're never gonna dumb down the graphics to run natively on the Switch.
Right. And I guess I'm okay with that, but you know me. I'm a physical, person, a physical collector. I like my physical copies, and when you have a full cloud version, it irks me a little bit.
Yeah,
it hurts my feelings.
it's fully single player, so I mean, it's not like you're gonna need the response time against multiplayer or stuff like that. So
Yeah. Number 15. So we're about halfway done with this list. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. What is this? Plus a new Power Awakens set?
yeah, that's
The DLC or
yeah, DLC new content type stuff that they're including with it.
yeah.
So it is enhanced from the original release in some way. So yeah, it's coming with that stuff. We already talked about it before. I'm
Hmm.
excited, so that's why it's number 15 on the list.
I'm excited that you're excited.
Ah.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 at number 14. Man, I put so much time into both of these games in its original format on the PlayStation. PlayStation 1? Yeah, PlayStation 1. I don't think these were originally released on the 2. Either
They
way,
were fun games. Yep, both of them.
yeah, the soundtrack on these, like I'm into punk music, and I think you are as well. Maybe just a different genre of punk music, but we're all in the same family, I think. And just the facts of these soundtracks were really geared towards the music I listened to was awesome.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that.
And the soundtrack is not identical on these, but it's close enough. It's sort of a compilation, greatest hits of the two.
Hmm.
Uh, it is a great game. I mean, Tony Hawk 1 and 2 packaged together as this sort of HD remake that this game is fantastic. Like these are two of the best skateboarding games ever made. The only thing that wears this announcement down, it would be higher on this list, is that the game already came out last year. So that's the only thing that sort of salts the waters the salt. I don't know what the phrase I'm getting at is, but
I've never even heard of the phrase, but
uh,
continue.
Debbie,
There you go. I know that one.
there we go. That's it. Otherwise, this would be higher on the list because Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, 1 plus 2, is fantastic.
Yeah, and that's coming out really soon. I want to say it's like next week or something.
And by the way, if you haven't played either of those games, and if the game when it does release performs well, like get the game, you're gonna love it. It
Yeah,
is absolutely incredible.
yeah. And those were the two really good ones. I think they had some other iterations, some other ones, and they weren't that as great
Uh,
as 1 and 2.
it was awesome.
Eh, I
1,
fell
2,
o-
and 3 were all great.
I fell off after 2. All right, next, this is all you, man. Number 13.
Yeah, number 13, 2 Point Campus. This is all right. So 2 Point Hospital already on Switch. 2 Point Campus gonna play very similarly. It's made by the same people, same engine. Obviously, spruced up, new gameplay mechanics. Instead of being a hospital, it's a university campus, college type system. It's gonna have the same witty, ridiculous comedy, dry humor, just on the nose humor, just comedy galore, and it's gonna have that simulation management mechanics of running an ever more efficient campus for this matter. I mean, you can have night school at your university, but it's not nighttime. It's a school where you train knights.
Clever.
I mean, it's so good. It's so good. And 2 Point Hospital plays really well on Switch. Graphically, it's not super impressive, but I mean, the game itself is not super impressive graphically anyway on PC
Hmm.
if you're play it on the ideal platform. But it plays really well on the Switch. It is a really good game, very in depth. So you have to take your time with it, but it is meant for the people that appeal to like Sim City and stuff like that. Two
Yeah,
Point Campus is definitely something to be excited for because they it's got so much charm and the gameplay and sort of the polish of what's there is going to be there. Visually, may not look like the best thing, but everything else is going to be rock solid.
I'm sure. I'm sure it will be. This just, I don't know. I think with me, with simulation games, I've fallen out of love with them. I can't do it. They're just too much work for me. I feel like I already have enough work in my life, and this is just something that's, I don't know, just not for me. It's not co-op, right? Like, I wonder how they could implement that. I mean, that would kind of be cool.
Yeah, games like that typically aren't co-op, so
Yeah, yeah. All right, Mario Golf Super Rush at number 12. This one, they're really pushing for this one. I think this one looks rather cool. There's a lot of different things they're trying in this. So I may have to get in on this one.
It's just number 12. I mean, obviously, it's going to be. It has the potential to be the best Mario Golf game.
Mhm.
Yet, it's just we've already heard about this. We are definitely looking forward to it. So we're not as excited, given the context that it's coming
Yeah,
out. What in a week?
yeah, it's coming out rather
Yeah.
soon.
So
And they've been promoting it with like new trailers like every so often. So I mean, I don't recall what their trailer was for E3. I kind of tuned out for that because again, they've been spoon feeding us trailers for a long time.
yep.
Then to open up the E3 number 11, I didn't know what was going on. I figured like they always open up with Smash, always, and there it was expected to be a Smash Fighter announcement. And then when you have something carrying Ganon over the edge of a cliff and then throwing him off, I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
Into a pit of lava.
Whatever, I don't remember what it was. I was just in shock. Um, I'm not overly familiar with Tekken, but that was the announcement. It was a new fighter, and was is this the guy's name, the gentleman's name?
Yeah, Kazuya Mishima. Mishima.
Yeah,
Mi-
him. He's
Mishi-
the new fighter.
Yes, he's a
Congra-
new fighter. He's from Tekken, so now Tekken officially joins the Smash roster. It's a very big deal. So very exciting stuff. I have the Champion Fighter Pass Season 2, whatever it's called. So I will have access to this character whenever uh, they get released. But
Excuse me.
one thing's for certain is, I don't know, maybe a week from now, 2 weeks from now, give or take, or 3 weeks, whatever, a month from now, Sakurai is going to do a lengthy presentation, probably like 40 minutes long,
Of course.
just on how Kazuya Mishima functions, and look at the corner of the wall on his level, and look at that little crack in the wall, and
Oh my
did you know this? And he'll go into the history, like he'll explain everything
Oh
about
my
it.
God, it is way too much. It is
I'm
way
very,
too much.
I'm very excited for it. So it's number 11.
I'm like, when does it end? Like, please just stop already. Enough fighters. They're all the same to me. This one was actually part of rumor land at one point. Number 10. We're in the top 10 now. WarioWare, Get It Together. Nintendo had done a survey, I think it was via email, where it asked the question, would you be interested in a WarioWare game? And I guess people were interested in, or they had something lined up. I don't know. Here we are. WarioWare, Get It Together. I've never
Part of the
played.
questionnaire was pricing. So I think that's what the ultimate motive for the questionnaire was, to figure
Gotcha.
out what to charge for a price for this game.
Yeah, these games are bonkers, man. They really. There's
They
just
are
so much
really,
to it.
yeah. They're fun. They're ridiculous. It it's just very little, tiny, bite-sized gameplay samples fed at you at a rapid pace,
Hmm.
and it's just a really good, solid experience. So and it's going to be multiplayer, so it's going to be good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, this was kind of out of left field, but all right. Moving on to number 9. Like, actually, this is a game I'm kind of excited for. It's called Astria Ascending. This is a really small development team. I am really surprised that this one made it to a Nintendo Direct. Nintendo must really see something in this game, for it to be promoting it like this.
It's
I
got good.
The art style it's awesome. I've been watching this game for a while. The art style is awesome. It's almost watercolor esque, but it's kind of your traditional profile of turn based battles. It's got your Final Fantasy esque. It's got the weaknesses, your fire weaknesses, that sort of stuff. Um, it's tradition. It's a very traditional JRPG. I would say. but the art style is where it's at. I don't know how the story will, unfold, but I don't know, man. This just looks. I love the look of this game, and it's coming out. Oh man, I don't have it in front of me either. It's coming out soon. This year, I think. Here we go. September 30th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yet another, because I believe WarioWare is also coming out in September. Diablo 2 is coming out in September. Australia Ascending is coming out in September. So September is going to be a real good month. The rest of this year is looking real solid for the Switch, except for August, I guess. A little bit of a lull in August, but other than that, like this month has been great, and it's going to continue to get great. Next month is going to be awesome. September is going to be awesome. October is going to be ridiculous because we're getting Metroid.
You need time to breathe, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, just that. I mean, October is the breather month, right? All of October is Metroid month. I'm declaring it's Metroid month.
It is now known.
And then you got SMT5 on November. You got Advance Wars on December, and we still have more games to cover. I mean, like, there's going to be even more games than just those. So this year is going to be this is a stacked year, great year.
Like you said, it's solid.
Yeah,
it's a very. I'm looking to see if there's anything actually coming out in August, and I'm not seeing a dang thing right now. No More Heroes 3, August 27.
There we go. No More Heroes 3. How could I? I'm super excited for that game. So, because I played the other two No More Heroes. I'm a
you know
fan.
what? This is actually, you should consider this number 30 or the 30th game, because they actually went over this in a treehouse, didn't they?
No, they didn't.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, there wasn't a No More Heroes in Treehouse. I would have included this, but it wasn't part of the direct and it wasn't part of the Treehouse. God, what are you looking it up? All right, while you're looking it up, I'm gonna go over number 8 because you don't care about number 8. The number 8 game that we're excited for is The Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword HD.
Yeah, I don't care.
It is the most important Zelda game, story-wise and lore-wise. It is a great, fantastic game. It's just not as good as other Zelda games because the other Zelda games are also great and fantastic.
Yeah.
And some of them practically flawless, and some of them the best game of all time. So it gets a bad rap because it's going up against itself in the series, and it's all of them are giants, and this is just the giant that's
among them.
Most of them.
And I just want to reiterate, I was right. It was in a treehouse presentation. No More Heroes 3. It was thrown in there. I forget what I was watching. I want to say, I don't remember what I was watching, but they did say we have it was like a special surprise, and yeah, it was No More Heroes 3.
All right. Well, if that's the case, then I would put No More Heroes 3 at number 12, just above Mario Golf Super Rush.
Okay, that
I'm okay. Number 11.
Whoa! No.
Natural feel.
Yes. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
That's where I would put it.
Okay. Yeah, it was a gameplay demo. So if you're really interested in No More Heroes 3, definitely check that out because it had a lot of gameplay.
And I will.
Very good. All right, next we have at number 7, Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin. They did. I feel like they're going over too much, but that's okay. Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin looks like it's going to be good. It looks solid. It looks aesthetically pleasing. I think this is going to be a decent JRPG for people who are just getting into JRPGs or RPGs in general, and or for people who just like RPGs altogether. It's going to be it's a simplified JRPG.
Yep.
With the announcement of the amiibo previously, as well as the demo coming up soon, so a lot of good stuff there. Number 6, SMT 5. This is what really got me excited for it. It was because we're actually seeing the gameplay for it.
Yeah,
So
now we know what it's gonna play like. Now we know what the level of effort that they're putting into it is. We are impressed. That puts it at number 6 spot. I mean, we are excited.
yeah, I mean, granted, like the gameplay area was relatively small, hopefully compared to what the game will be. Generally, these games are fairly lengthy, so you know we still have more to see from this. Who knows when we'll see it? At number 5, the top 5. Number 5 is Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. And I will say, because for whatever reason, I totally whiffed on that grid-based combat, I will put this up even higher. But we'll keep it at number 5. I'm interested in seeing a little bit more on the gameplay aspects of this. There was an IGN developer kind of interview where they talk about this. I do want to watch that. I have not watched that yet. So I want to see what their thoughts are on that. But it looks cool. I like a lot of the new antagonists in this game. I like the art design. It looks very different. It looks a little darker than the first one.
Yeah, they're definitely incorporating Mario Galaxy theme and motifs within this universe now. It's got that more spacey feel to it. So, and even the environments are broken up and fragmented, kind of like in Mario Galaxies, the different planets
Hmm.
and little side comets and whatnot that you can go into. So if they're riffing on that, that is an excellent thing to riff on because Mario Galaxy is one of the best games of all time.
One of the best. That's one. You said one of the best games of all time.
Mario Galaxy, yeah,
Yeah, that's subjective, I think.
sure.
All right, number 4. Go ahead. Give them number 4.
All right, number 4. This announcement was just huge. We already talked about it, but I am absolutely excited for Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. I already said why I'm excited for it. I already played these games. I played these games a lot. I did multiplayer with these games when on the Game Boy Advance, where you had to take those stupid link cables and directly connect your Game Boy Advance to another person's Game Boy Advance. And we all did hot seat gaming on Advance Wars. I got my brother into it. I got my friends into it. We I love Advance Wars, and I kind of compel them to love it too because it is so good. And they're bringing it back, full blown remake, and they're including the only thing I asked for was please have online multiplayer, and they got that.
They
I'm
listen to you.
They listened. I am so excited for this. So I'm really excited for it. So that puts that at number 4.
All right, and speaking of, I'm really excited for Game and Watch, Legend of Zelda. I mean, this technically isn't it? It's not a game. It's more a collectible. Part of the 35th year anniversary special of Legend of Zelda, we get a Game and Watch. It's essentially just a collectible that'll go on my shelf and never open or out of its plastic box.
It is a really nice Game and Watch though, because it's got Zelda 1, Zelda 2, and Link's Awakening, which are all excellent games.
Hmm.
And it has that weird stopwatchy, watchy functionality in
Well,
there.
there's also a fourth game that they just incorporated Link into it. I don't remember what it is. It's kind of like an old Game and
Oh,
Watch
that's
game.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, where it's like whack-a-mole. Uh,
yeah, something
like-
like that.
yep, I remember that now.
If I can find a second one kind of cheaper, that'll be the one I open. If I may, I'd have used, I don't even know, a gift from Johnny, that one, I will open it.
Oh.
All right.
I don't even know if there's going to be any more available to buy because Geo bought them all.
I bought one. Number 2, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like, number 1 and 2, I think, are potentially synonymous. Like, you can either or with these, but one gets an edge here. But anyway, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. I mean, what else can you say? We kind of went over a lot of this. I think a lot of people are very excited for this game. A lot of new changes, like you had mentioned, the Sheikah Slate integration with Link, potentially customization or alternate timelines. I don't know. I don't know what your thought is on that. But
Well, I think with the Sheikah Slate in the arm is, if you remember from not in this trailer, it might have been slightly in this trailer, but in the previous trailer, that that calamity was creeping up or down, whatever, Link's
okay.
hand, his
Yep.
right arm. And what I think happened is, maybe to heal or prevent Link becoming fully corrupt or whatever, the Sheikah Slate fused with his arm and then rejected. Or maybe there's that NPC, I forgot what they're called, all the way in the northeastern area where you feed them the ancient parts and they
Yep.
make ancient weapons. Maybe they made an ancient arm for Link. Maybe Link actually lost his arm, and then they give him the ancient arm, and then because it's a mechanical prosthetic arm of sorts, the Sheikah Slate kind of embedded into it or something like that.
Right. Right. Yeah. This
Speculation.
and again, that's I think why this gets a number 2. Right. There's just still a lot left up to
Yeah.
our imagination. We have essentially no release date. It's 2022.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot left up in it. They showed an okay amount, maybe an okay amount of some gameplay, I guess. There's
It was
still a lot to be left, though.
it was a to me it was an obvious placeholder tease of, hey, we know it's been a very long time since we announced it. We know we need to show you something, so here's something.
Hmm.
Uh, please be excited. It was one of those things, but yeah, I mean, it's the sequel to the greatest game of all time. So yes,
Wait, I thought that was Mario Galaxy.
no. I said Mario Galaxy is one of. It's not the.
I'm,
There's a difference.
I'm so
There's a difference.
confused. You confuse me
Breath
all
of
the
the Wild
time.
is the greatest game of all time.
And Mario Galaxy is one of the.
Of Yeah, one of the greatest.
There's too many greatest. You can only have one. Number 1, Metroid Dread. And for me, the reason why this is number 1 is because we have a complete package here, right? We have a release date, we have, we have collector's editions, we have amiibos. This was more of the complete package, you know?
It can't get any more complete than this. It's a brand new announcement that no one expected.
Hmm.
It's they showed gameplay,
A lot of it.
a lot of it, and they gave a definitive release date that is coming up soon. Like, you can't make a better announcement than what they did with Metroid Dread. It just
Mm,
cannot be better. Maybe the only way to be better is if they shadow drop it day of. That's the only scenario that I can think of. Other
right.
than that, this is a perfect announcement, the best way and excitement and sort of hype building that you can do instantaneously too. Like, they showed it off, and then they did the just from showing it off, that was enough to get people excited. Then they showed the treehouse segments, and you got to see how fluid and how well running this game actually is.
Yep.
And as well as the what was it, like 8 minute long dev interview with Sakamoto.
I don't recall his name.
Um, with him, and then doing the runs through the game itself, like, and seeing how well it performed, like, yeah,
Like
just
the boss battles were that one boss battle, right? With
yeah,
this scorpion like creature, whatever it is,
yep,
was awesome. Like the different phases it had when it turns invisible, you're like, oh no, now what do you do? And there's a couple of things you can try and do, but it's still challenging. Yeah, that looks good, man. It looks so good.
yeah, it looks real good.
So that's our number 1 for our E3. What do you guys think? Our list is pretty good. I think it's pretty rock solid. All right. And just real quick, upcoming RPGs, they're really is only one that I'm ready to mention here. It's called Ender Lilies. I really suggest you guys take a look at this. It's coming out June 21st. It looks visually pleasing. It looks like I believe it's a Metroidvania. It's visually and aesthetically looks really, really good. I don't even know how else to describe this game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I actually have this one wish listed.
Yeah. So yeah, check out Ender Lilies. It is, again, it's a 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania. And that is price-wise 22. Well, it's on sale right now. 10% off, $22.49. Releases June 21st. All right, cool. That is actually going to wrap up today's episode of the Switch RPG Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at podcast@switchrpg.com. You can listen to the show each and every week, most of the times, if I'm not coming up with things, at switchrpg.com. You subscribe on your favorite podcast app. If you listen on that, please give us a rating and review. We want to climb up them charts on those platforms, so your support there would be amazing. And finally, remember to head over to switchrpg.com for all your RPG needs on the Nintendo Switch. Until next time, see you around.